Well, hello, and welcome back, guys. I am excited that you picked my topic for me today because this topic is so cool, and I say that about every single topic. But I'm serious. This is definitely one that is so important, especially if you're single and you're like, hey, what the heck is wrong with me? I know I have good qualities that I'm bringing on the table. How come I'm not attracting Mr. Right or Mrs. Right? What's the problem? Is the problem with me? Is the problem with them? And so we're going to talk about 7 reasons why intelligent people have a rough time finding love. Let me say that again. 7 reasons why intelligent people have a rough time finding love. So if you are one of those intelligent people that's finding it tough to find love, then drop a 1 in the comments and say, hey, I'm single, but hey, it's because of choice, or I'm single because I have high standards, or I'm single because I'm working on myself right now, or I'm single because I got out of a bad relationship and I don't want to deal with drama anymore for a while. So there could be a lot of different reasons why you're single. More than those 4, but those are 4 common reasons why people are single right now, even though they don't have to be, even though they, like I said, are bringing a lot to the table. They have a lot of qualities that another person would be very, very happy to have in their life. So you're Mr. or Mrs. right now, they're waiting for you. They're just like, hey, where are you? If you are new to my lives and you're like, who the heck is she? I am Joy. I'm a synergistic kinesiologist. That just means I like to help people detox basically emotional toxins that they have in their life. And most people have some type of emotional toxins that stem from past relationships or past experiences, and I help them to release them with muscle testing. I'm also a certified sports nutrition coach, certified personal trainer, author of a book called R3 Diet, and a formulator of supplements. So the bottom line is I like to help people detox their body and minds and transform into the higher version of themselves. And that's what we're all working to do, is transform to the higher version of ourselves. So here's the deal. I'm going to talk to you about 7 reasons why you're having a hard time finding love. Number one, if you're intelligent and you're like, why am I fine, smart, brains and beauty, and I'm single? Why? Number 1, you're too critical. Number 1, you are too critical. Now, here's the deal. I'm all about having standards. I am not about dropping your standards to just so you can say you have a man or just so you can say you have a woman. No. That's not going to happen. I say keep your standards high. Keep your standards as high as your stilettos. It doesn't matter. Keep your standards high. I'm a huge fan of having your standards high. But here's the problem if you're too critical. If you're too critical, that means you may be looking at everything through like a microscope and just really being critical on stuff that you shouldn't be critical on. Like, you shouldn't be criticizing how they're holding their fork. Like, that's something, you got to pick and choose your battles. And maybe that's a battle that you're like, dude, I can deal with that. That's something I could work with. But don't be so critical to where you're literally keeping yourself in the single category just because you're not lifting the bar at all. Like, you're keeping it so high, and if they fail every test, you have 100 things. No, you have 1,000 things that they need to qualify on your list, and if they're missing, if they only have 900, they're gone. You have 1,000. They only have 900 that you can check off the list where you qualify, but they're missing a few. Maybe they are missing only just literally 1 or 2, but you still are not cutting them any slack. You're like, nope, you didn't make the cut. I had requirements. You missed those requirements, so sayonara. So you're being too strict. You're being too critical. Let up a little bit, dude. Just relax. Nobody is perfect. You're not going to find somebody who is perfect. Actually, what I believe is through marriage, you guys are supposed to kind of perfect each other. So I feel like you unwrap each other as a gift, and now your job for life is to just kind of perfect each other. You are upgrading him, he's upgrading you. You guys are both just making each other, bringing out the best in one another. Bringing out the best. Now, have you ever thought about that? Like, most of the time, what do people do in relationships? They criticize what's wrong with one another. Oh, thank you for the hearts. I see the hearts, the likes, the shares. I like them. Look at those hearts. Ooh, they look so cool. Okay. So anyway, I never get tired of the hearts and stuff. They look cool. But anyway, so yeah, you got to let up a little bit. Number 2, if you are intelligent but single, number 2, the problem is You are just too comfortable being independent. That's it. You're too comfortable being independent. You've gotten used to just the way you do things. You've gotten used to your lifestyle. You've gotten used to at 3 o'clock you do this, at 4 o'clock you get your clothes from the cleaners, at 5 o'clock you put dinner on the stove, at 6 o'clock you do that. Everything in your schedule only pertains to you, and you have not had to include anyone else in your day-to-day schedule in a long time, and you like it that way. And so basically you're so independent that even the thought of you like now compromising and saying, oh, you have to do this at 4. Oh, I had to do that at 4 too. Okay, well, here we can compromise and do. That's not even on your radar. You're like, no, I don't want to do that. I like my schedule. I like my independence, and that's the way I want it. But here's the deal, and I got to say this because I'm going to keep it real. There's an opportunity cost involved. So that means you may get to keep your independence, but what are you missing out on? What are you missing out on? Maybe you're keeping your independence, but you're missing out on having somebody to cuddle with at night, and it's about to get cold, and cuddling is nice when you're cold, when you're so cold, and that warm body, just that body heat. No, a blanket cannot take the place of body heat, okay? A blanket cannot take the place of body heat. So the bottom line is it's about to get cold. No, that's not that's not the reason you get in a relationship. You don't get into a relationship because of body heat. I'm just talking about perks, okay? There's some perks. There's some benefits. And so sometimes you miss out on those benefits. Hey, Brent. Hey, Derek. Hey, Paris. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know where you're jumping in here from. I see people from all around the world. So let me know where you're coming in here from, in the U.S. or abroad. So number 2, don't get so comfortable in your independence. Number 3, the reason why you're independent but single is because you're not easy to understand. People don't understand you. You're making yourself and your lifestyle kind of like what is it called, a Rubik's Cube. Now, when was the last time you put a Rubik's Cube together? If you're like most people, it's been a long time, if at all. I don't think I've ever put a Rubik's Cube together in my entire life. So the bottom line is, if you're like a Rubik's Cube and you're just way too hard to figure out, what do people do with a Rubik's Cube when they are trying to figure it out all the time for the past 10 minutes, for the past 20 minutes, for the past 30 minutes? Eventually what happens? Maybe they get hungry, so they put it down to go eat. Maybe they have to use a restroom, so they put it down to go and use the restroom. Maybe they just get tired of seeing red, blue, yellow, orange, green, whatever, and they put it down because their eyes hurt and they need a break. But the bottom line is, guess what the theme is? They freaking put it down. They put it down. And so you don't want people to put you down just because they can't understand you. Don't make yourself so hard to understand. People want to understand you. Men want to understand you. Women, if you're a man, they want to understand you. And they can't understand you if you make it hard for people to understand you. That was a tongue twister. Okay, so the next reason you're single, if you are intelligent and you have so much to put on the table, you're bringing so much to the table, and you're like, why in the heck am I single? What is the problem? Hey, Carol, I like that rose. That rose matches my lipstick. Hey, girl. Hey, Amari, welcome. Hey, Omar. Okay, the 4th reason why you're single, even though you're intelligent, is because you rarely listen to your heart. You're one of those people that you're thinking all with your mind. You're thinking all logically, and you're not thinking with your heart. When you want to find the right person, you have to freaking put your mind on a shelf. That sounds crazy. You need your mind for certain things. But the bottom line is, when it comes to love, you have to open up your heart. You have to be vulnerable. You have to put yourself out there to possibly be hurt. Let me say that again, because some people are like, look, if I don't have guaranteed proof that I'm not going to get hurt again, I'm not putting myself out there. It doesn't work like that. There's risk involved. There is risk. There's levels to this game, okay? And when you're on level 10, which is the marriage level, then that means you put yourself all the way out there. You opened yourself all the way up. Dude, you guys heard my story if you watched some of my past live streams. You heard my story that my first date with my husband, he was bailing me out of jail. If that wasn't me putting myself all the way out there, I don't know what is. No, seriously, I didn't pay a traffic ticket or something. I ran a stop sign, didn't pay a ticket. And I got arrested because I had expired plates. He had to bail me out of jail. It's a long story, okay? You got to go back to that video when I talked about that in detail. But the bottom line is, guess what? I couldn't put up a facade. It's hard to put up a facade when you're in jail. You're asking your first date to bail you out. It is what it is. It's all real. And you got to put that realness out there when you want someone, when they're choosing you, when they're choosing if they want to build and spend their life with you. You have to give them the real to see up front. Because if you don't give them the real to see, what are they saying yes or no to? If you're putting up a facade, if you're guarding your heart, what are they saying yes or no to? They don't know because you're not giving them the real. Put a 1 in there if you've ever dated somebody that was fronting. Put a 1 in the comments if you've experienced dating someone that their lies had lies. They were a facade. They didn't even order what they normally order at a restaurant. That wasn't even the real them. What they wore, they didn't even dress like the real them. They didn't even walk like the real them. They didn't even, they maybe even lied about where they worked. Like, put a 1 in the comments if you know what I'm talking about and you dated somebody before and they just brought fakeness and not realness to the table. But yet, they're wondering why they're single. Hey, people want the real. Carol can relate. That's what I'm talking about. So let's talk about number 5. We're talking about 7 reasons why people are intelligent. They are intelligent, but they're still single. Number 5 is they intimidate people. That's a biggie, guys. They intimidate people. There are people who are intimidated by you. They want to get in a relationship with you. They want to find out more about you, but you are intimidating. So again, to me, if you're intimidating, that means you're not opening up your heart. They go hand in hand. So that means you got to let some guards down. You got to let people see the real you. You got to quit scaring people. You got to quit scaring them away before they even get a chance to knock on the door. It's almost like Halloween. Like they ran from your house and they didn't even get an opportunity to freaking knock on the door because all the scary stuff you had up front, you had like a ghost that jumped out at them and it scared them. And that's not even, you really are nice. Like you really are sweet. But they can't even see that part of you because you're intimidating them. And that's that hardcore part of you that's saying nobody's going to do me wrong again. So I'm going to show these people. I'm going to prove to them that I will not be taken advantage of. And you put up this hardcore facade, and that's not even really you. That's not even really you. So you will stay single until you take that hardcore barrier down. Take it down. Goes back to opportunity cost. There's more benefits waiting for you when you take it down than what you think you're getting by keeping it up. Because it's a facade. It's a lie. All you're going to do is attract people who are, guess what? Guess who you're going to attract? You're going to attract scary Halloween looking people. You're going to attract Freddy freaking Krueger. That's who you're going to attract when you have all the Halloween stuff out in front of your house. Because you're trying to scare them, so they're going to come with their Freddy Krueger face on. They're going to come like Jason. They're going to come just like that. Because that's what you're putting out there in the universe, and that's what you're going to attract as a response to what you're putting out. Everything is boomerangs, baby. Everything is boomerangs. So let's talk about number 6. Number 6, the 6th reason why you're intelligent, but you're single, is you're always protecting yourself. This is do you notice a commonality between these? Most of them deal with like this protective barrier. Most of them deal with a protective barrier. You're always protecting yourself. You feel like if you are to be protected, it's up to you. If it's to be, it's up to you. Nobody else is going to protect you. But let me tell you, I'm going to let you in on a little secret, and this is going to change your life. I promise you, when you find Mr. or Mrs. Right, I promise you, you will not have to protect yourself so hard because to their dying breath, everything in them is going to want to protect you. Did you just hear what I said? Till their dying breath, everything in their being is going to want to take care of you and protect you. So you're not going to have to do that, even though you can. That's good that you can. But you're not going to have to. They're not going to allow you to. They're going to protect you. They're going to be there to fight your battles. They're going to be there to carry the weight of the world on their shoulders in your stead. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice that people like that still exist? Yes, they do. But you won't find them when you have that protective barrier up. You have to let it down. Let's talk about the last thing. We're talking about 7 things, baby. 7 things. You guys need to be sharing this with people who you know need to hear this message. Single people who you're like, they are single, but they shouldn't be single. They look good. They smell good. They do good in life. They have a high purpose in life. They have all these good attributes, but they're single. You need to share this with them. Invite them to hear this. Okay, so the last thing, 7 reasons why you're intelligent, but you have a rough time finding love. The last reason is you don't like restrictions. You don't like restrictions. And you feel as if you were to get in a committed relationship, you feel that you would be too restricted. And that's not the case. That is not the case. When you are in a relationship that is so fulfilling, then I'm telling you, you are at your most free. You are so free. You are freer than a bird. You are at your most freeing lifestyle, position, feeling, everything inner and out when it comes to you feels so free. You feel set free. There's no heaviness to it. There's no suffering to it. There's no restrictions to it. There's no rules to it. That's why if you're in these psycho kind of relationships that I read about sometimes, or people are looking at each other's cell phone, that's craziness. That's craziness. Craziness. I don't have a passcode that my husband doesn't have. He doesn't have a passcode that I don't have. But guess what? I'm not using his passcode. I don't need to use his passcode, but we know each other's passcodes. We know each other's social security numbers and blood type, all that good stuff. But we don't need to use this stuff. We don't need to be hunting and looking and trying to see what the other person is doing and what they're doing to hurt you, and trying to protect yourself again, and trying to look out for yourself because you know it's only a matter of time before that person is going to hurt you. You don't have to do that anymore. So when you get into a freeing relationship, when you get into real, true love, it is conditioning. It is loving. It is giving. It doesn't take, it gives. As a matter of fact, it gives so much that you'll feel like you can't even take anymore. You'll feel like your cup is just running over. And that's all it can do, is give and give and give. And it replenishes itself over and over and over. And it gives you everything that you desire and then some. Let me say it one more time. It gives you everything you desire and then some. So it's complete. It is not incomplete. It is complete, whole, full, loving, giving. It breathes life into you. It breathes change into you. You want to change for the better. All of a sudden you get brilliant $1 million ideas when you're with the right person. All of a sudden you wake up with even more of a purpose. And it doesn't mean you can't have these things without someone. I'm just saying that the proper relationship gives you this, even having someone, where it even boosts who you are. It boosts your confidence. It boosts your personality. It boosts your smile. It boosts, you have an extra glow to your skin. So these are things that you will start to see when you're in a healthy relationship. So that's really it for today, guys. I hope this was beneficial to you guys. I hope that you can take these tips, put them to action, because tips alone is not change. It's not transformation. Action begets transformation. So if you only do one thing after you leave here, if I only can get you to do one thing, it would be to take the brick wall down. That's protecting your heart. Take the brick wall down. That's protecting your heart. It really isn't protecting you. Really, it's hindering you. Really, it's blocking you. So take it down. You've already seen what happens with it being up. You've already seen those results. So what do you have to lose by letting it down and seeing what happens then? What do you have to lose? You don't have anything to lose, and you have so much to gain. So that's it for today, guys. R3 for life. What does that stand for? Reverse, retrain, rebuild your body and mind. Until next time, bye.